3, 2, 1, go. Welcome to Grounds After Rounds.
Hey, folks.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Happy New Year.
Oh, yeah, that is.
Happy New Year.
I always forget to say that after the... Oh, no. I'm trying to think if I wrote a check recently. I may have dated 2020. I can't remember. Hey, Eric.
I guess we'll find out.
Did you hear that 10 plus 10 is the same as 11 plus 11?
Wait a second. 10 plus 10.
10 plus 10 is 20.
11.
And 11 plus 11 is 22.
Ah. Oh, man. Hey, Jack, that totally reminds me.
Of what?
We're also optimistic about 2021, right?
Hopefully we are, yeah.
But I think people forget that after this year, it's 2022.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It still didn't work for me. It still didn't land.
It's 2020.
It's just
also 2020.
It's just, yeah, it's too many 20s. It's grammatically awkward.
That's right. Word jokes like
it's too long. My brain starts to like, wait, what? 20? And I'm seeing the numbers, you know what I mean? So like at least and these aren't our jokes.
I think Brian Lounsbury left. Brian Lounsbury had a great joke the other day. Can we share that?
Please.
Share it?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
He had two. I forget what one. This one was great.
I love that you're giving him credit.
This one, yeah, it was great because this one's more regional. So he said,
and then nothing else.
Oh, shoot.
We are a regional podcast. We're a regional podcast. I think we're a neighborhood podcast, personally.
Oh, criminy. I forgot it. We'll have to come back to it.
It
was
hard.
Great.
That's a tough one.
May have to come back to it. Brian, if not Brian Lansbury, make sure you share your joke.
Yeah, man, put it in your comments. Yeah. Hey, I would like to, not sponsored, but ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for new fashion in 2021, I highly recommend Stitch Fix. Stitch Fix can set up where you can get monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, or I get them every 4 months. A box of clothes show up that somebody has styled for you, somebody has picked for you. This is where my new Stitch Fix.
I like this.
It's so nice. It's
so
really
nice.
comfy.
It looks nice.
I really like it. And I got another, you can talk to your stylist, you can tell them what you're in the market for.
Yeah.
So last time I told him, I was like, I got enough button downs. I need another pair of jeans and I need some like half, like I could work out in them, but I can also wear them out. Like I need something that's sort of like sports,
right.
But like,
it's called lifestyle.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I didn't know that, but maybe
Yep.
she probably did.
I'm working on
And Christine, my stylist, sent me this. I got like another shirt. Some of you may notice those tight blue pants that I've worn from time to time. Like those are from Stitch Fix.
I'm pretty sure I complimented you the first day you wore those. It's like, I like
yeah, there's like a little line down my butt. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
It's called a crack.
I'm still a little wheezy from the sheep too. But anyway, not sponsored, but highly recommend it. I love it. And the funny thing is, which I'm sure this is in their thing, you pay a styling fee. And if you buy all the items that they send, you get 25% off. So the styling fee, let's say it's like $25. The 25% off usually gets you about $50 to $60 savings. There's always one item in the box that you're like, I'm never going to wear that. But if I send that back, I won't get the 25% off, which is less, I'm getting more off than this item is worth.
Like it'll save you money to keep it.
It's all part of their plan.
Cheaper to keep her, as they say.
So I keep everything. And actually it was cool. Yesterday I had like 2 or 3 pieces from previous fixes that I've not really been wearing. There's a pair of pants, a sit down like quarter sweatshirt thing. Yeah. Gave them the kids. Gave nice. Josh the pants. I think
How often you get a box?
I was getting one every 3 months. So I was getting one every quarter. It might've been every 2 months at first, because I had no clothes. When I started doing this now, it's been a year and a half. Because I realized when I got out of the Navy, I'm like, I have no real adult clothes. I either have gym shorts or uniforms.
Yeah.
So it helped make that transition. And within 2 or 3 boxes, I was like, okay, this is more clothes than I've had in like 10, 15 years done. And so now I'm on every 4 months, which is more than enough. And so I sent her feedback of what I need next, and we'll see how it goes.
That's cool.
Really good price. About $200 a box for me.
Oh, that's not bad.
Right. And so about every 4 months. And so across a year, right. And my rule is if I keep something, something in my closet
has to go. Yeah, for sure. That's what I was curious, asking about how much, because it's like one of those like, it sounds awesome, but it's like if your closet's already full, you need to make some sacrifices. There's a reason. There's stuff in there you're probably not wearing.
Like there were shirts in there that had like dust on the shoulders. I'm like, it's been a while since I've worn this.
Dust your shoulders off.
Yeah,
as they say in the
dust your shoulders
music community.
What is that song?
I feel like it's a Jay-Z song.
Yeah.
Something about pimping ain't easy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Well, welcome back. What do we got to the creek? What do we got going on, man? What's new year, new you, new me, new Jim.
I think I hashtagged one of the workouts the other day. New Year, same me. I think it was the one yesterday. I think it was the one.
Damn it!
I think it was the one of like Devon like laying on the ground. I think hashtag New Year, same me.
That new year, new me bullshit. It's crap. That doesn't work. Stuff doesn't work.
I woke up and it was the same, except it was really rainy. Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff. So I think a fun thing that was announced recently, we know the Open is coming up.
Yes,
March
we do.
8th, is it 18th?
The week of the 8th.
The week of the 8th.
It'll be released the 11th.
Right.
Thursday the 11th, March 11th.
Thursday the 11th. So let's kick off first. If you've noticed this last week and then going to this week, you've been throwing in stuff, some skill stuff, knowing that there's certain things in the Open that people want to work on, or knowing that they're probably going to show up in the Open.
Yeah.
So let's get a little extra practice in them outside of our regular workouts, but it's not an extra WOD. So it's intentional skill work.
So as I'm calling them, our programming overlords at warm up and workout.
Happy late birthday, Pat Barber.
Oh,
one of the kiddos.
Because Taz told me I'm allowed to blame her when workouts are really hard and people don't like them. Though I've yet to have somebody say like I hated that workout or that was horrible.
There's so much.
Even the handstand walking one on Monday, Joe was like, that was really fun,
right? Like,
and he's right. Like it was really freaking fun.
Yeah.
I had FOMO because we got new floors put in, and so I ended up the schedule got all wacky, but I jammed it in yesterday with the deadlifts. Anyway. Our programming overlords wrote a very good explanation of January is Open month. Usually the Open starts in February. It's 5 weeks long, so you had a little bit less prep time. With the slight change this year, with shortening it to 3 weeks and moving it to March start, makes for January and a little bit into February to be a great opportunity to brush the dust off some of those movements that maybe we haven't focused on a whole lot.
Yeah.
But they also made a very good point that we are a general physical preparedness program, that we are not training for the Open.
Right.
It seems counterintuitive to call yourself a GPP, General Physical Preparedness Program. So that would be GPPP. And then deliberately do almost a microcycle of some specific skill work. Mm-hmm. All that to be said, there is worth in short-term, deliberate, conscientious refocusing of effort on some very specific skills that we have pretty good assuredness that they're probably going to show up in the Open. Nothing's definite. I said to one of the classes, like, Castro stopped emailing me, unfortunately, about a year ago. I think we had a falling out. I mean, I was in Santa Cruz for 3 years and he hasn't talked to me in like 2.5. Froning Frazier. Easy, boys, easy.
If you don't know what we're talking about, you should probably get on Instagram more.
So, I mean, Dave and I had a falling out, and I stopped getting the direct email of what the programming for the Open is going to be. But if history is any guide, toes to bar. You're probably going to see some toes to bar in there. Mm-hmm. Pull-ups. You're probably going to see pull-ups in there. Thrusters. You're probably going to see thrusters in there.
Specific.
Though there were no thrusters in the Open last year, which is the first time ever.
First time ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Burpees. You're probably going to see some burpees in there. Other barbell movements, double unders, because now we definitely know double unders will be in, not definitely, but 99.9 jump rope is in the equipment list that the CrossFit.com or the games.crossfit.com released. Yeah. So consistent, deliberate, conscientious practice of movement is the only way long-term to get better at it.
Yeah.
With 9 weeks to go last week, 8 weeks to go this week, if you spend 2 to 3 days, about 3 to 4 minutes a day on those types of movements over the course of the 9 weeks, you're going to get touch points of about, I would say, another hour total of work on those movements, that if you just wait for them to show up in the gym, you may or may not be at a place where you could actually do them.
Yeah.
I will use a couple of athletes, not by name, but I have a couple of athletes across the different classes in the morning, where just by doing the toes to bar, the way we did them, where you get a little out of breath on the machine, you jump onto the bar in a tired, and it's not an extra workout. It is deliberate practice when in a slightly fatigued state. They found that with the toe to bar, now all of a sudden they had to engage the lats, and they found that the kip came from that thoracic extension and flexion. Oh my God. And the feet just came along for the ride.
Moves,
and by doing it, some low stakes, sub-maximal efforts, even when a little bit tired, after resting a little bit, jumped back up on the bar, got her first toe to bar ever, and got her toe to bar directly into a second toe to bar ever. It was awesome to see, because when she was doing it, I'm like, you're only about 6 to 8 inches from
68 inches,
about 6 to 8 inches
pretty close
from the bar. I was like, just go ahead and sacrifice the knee, like just sell out, just go for it. And she did, but didn't lose the tension. And it was a game changer. That doesn't happen if it's not with deliberate practice. Maybe it happens in the open and it's like, yay, but now do that once, twice, maybe 3 more times across the next 2 months. By the time it gets to the open, hey, news flash, toes to bar are going to be hard, whether you practice them no times before the open or 15 times.
The open has a way of, regardless of how fit you are, make you feel very not fit.
What this approach and sort of just a refocusing of attention and deliberate, conscientious practice gives people a broader exposure to the things that possibly and probably will show up.
Right.
And as Glassman said, we fail at the margins of our exposure, of our experience. And so if I can broaden or push out the margin of that experience with a little bit more practice at 5 to 10 minute chunks at the end or beginning of a workout, hey, there you go. And so that's the general kind of long-winded explanation of what this means. Writing it up on the board, 8 weeks to go, 7 weeks to go, with a specific, like, hey, this week, get upside down.
Get upside down.
We already did it on Monday. If you missed Mondays, get upside down in your house, get upside down in your garage, get into a pike, hang out on your couch with your hands on the floor, your feet on the couch, work some scat push-ups. Do not walk through the middle of your living room on your hands unless you are confident walking on your hands, and kick your TV over and blame us because we told you to walk on your hands in your living room
send you that bill.
and kick your TV over. Don't do that. Stay safe, but use the time and the reason and the excuse when somebody says, hey man, what are you doing? Training for the open. Worldwide open. What are you doing?
Not watching TV, that's for sure.
That's right.
I kicked it over doing handstands. Okay.
There you go. That's my explanation. And I'm excited. And I mean, last week was double unders. This week's handstand stuff. We had the toe to bar practice. You're like, well, wait a second, I don't understand. Right? It's just this week's focus. That doesn't mean the other movements aren't going to be peppered in from time to time in places.
Can we get a preview on since it's now Friday? What's next week?
I really don't remember. It's already written. I haven't looked at it. Since, I don't know. I'll be surprised too. I'm gonna guess
the known and unknown and unknowable.
I'm gonna guess pull-ups. I think probably chest to bar or regular pull-ups, but most likely.
I feel like when was the last time regular pull-ups showed up as an RX movement in the open?
Never.
Yeah. At this point now, a regular pull-up is a scale.
Yeah. Well, it kind of always has. It always kind of has been.
I guess it has, hasn't it?
That's what the gymnastics course.
I guess it has.
Too.
Yeah. True. So when practicing pull-ups, always try to practice chest to bars. So when regular pull-ups show up, you're like, okay, this is gonna be an easy workout.
If I practice this, then this is all day.
What are you practicing?
This, my chest to bar.
Oh. Okay.
You just like to see my sweatshirt move.
I like your new shirt.
My Stitch Fix sweatshirt.
From Christine, is it?
It's kind of. I think that was her name.
Shout out Christine from Stitch Fix. Okay, now it just got weird. Anyway, now there's red dots popping up all over the screen. Okay.
What do the red dots mean? Don't like it?
Oh, red dots when you go to a website, and then red dots pop up all over your neighborhood. Those are registered sex offenders.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. I just went. It was funny until I had to explain it. Now it's just super dark. All right, cool. So now with the open, there's always, as there's always been, there's RX and scaled.
Right.
Is the plan. So there's RX and scaled. But now they've said with the climate or the atmosphere of the world that we are living in now, they want to make sure that this is available to everyone. And so with that, they will have an at-home version that will require equipment or no equipment. What is happening?
I'm cold. It's got really, really cold.
I'm gonna text Christine. Dear Christine, get him something thicker so he's not a big baby. Okay.
No, it's just finally the workout just wore off.
Right.
Oh boy.
So there's going to be.
Oh boy.
So there's two ways to do the CrossFit Open from home. There's basic equipment. The basic equipment list being a dumbbell, a barbell, and plates. I don't think they specified how much in plates though. How much weight? Is that somewhere else?
They did not. No.
Okay.
That's a really good observation.
Yeah. A plyo box, a jump rope, and a pull-up location, meaning something to do pull-ups on. So that is the at-home with equipment. If you have those, you'll be able to do the open to its fullest capacity from the at-home. From at home. There will also be an equipment-free version, meaning no equipment necessary other than you, the machine. You being the machine. So this will be, it says this is the most accessible open in CrossFit history with flexible options for participants to compete either at their local gym or at home with or without equipment should they face local closures or have health concerns. So this is on the CrossFit Games Instagram page. I'm sure it's on the website. I'm sure it's on the Facebook page as well. So if you need to double check, so barbells and plates, jump rope, pull-up box, dumbbell or dumbbells. A dumbbell. It says a single dumbbell.
Wow. That's actually noteworthy.
Yeah. And so I thought if anything, we could just use this quick opportunity to, like everyone thinks, we'll go to Rogue Fitness and check out Rogue Fitness and see what they have. And you'll probably be on a wait list. And as soon as you get a notification that something's available, if you don't click as soon as you get it, it's probably gone. So a couple of different things you can look at too is Facebook Marketplace. But I'd definitely be like weary because people are going to gouge the bejesus out of you.
So we just bought a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, we just bought a bunch of stuff.
And it came from GetRx, which is a company out of Houston, Texas. Texas is a small little state down in the southwest of the United States.
We think they're their own country.
They're not really, nothing noteworthy.
Is anyone here from Texas?
I don't even think.
I don't think, no one's ever talked about it.
It's like, it's very similar to CrossFit, where it's very difficult to know if somebody is a CrossFitter. I mean, they don't talk about it. They don't really make a big deal out of their shoes or anything. Same thing with people out of Texas. They're very humble, very modest, kind of quiet. Yeah.
You never have to ask someone if they're from Texas.
Can you imagine Texas, people who do CrossFit and are from Texas? Oh, good Lord.
I have a feeling Shelly's like at home right now, like... Somebody say Texas.
She said she's not coming back to get her shout out.
She is
so here's
now.
your shout out, Shelly. If you're wondering, Shelly O'Neill's from Texas. Anyway, so GetRx, great company out of Houston. It's a little steep on shipping compared to some of the other places, but in my opinion, it's kind of worth it. I say that we have like multiple GetRx the equipment now. I will use them and continue to use them. And in all reality, whatever, maybe 2% more you pay in their shipping costs.
Yeah.
It shows up every time on time when they say. It is so easy. They do freight, so it can come to your house, but you have to schedule it and call it. Highly, highly, highly recommend. They are a little, I think they're a little low on dumbbells. I can't remember the certain weights.
Obviously, this list came out too.
The other one, which I am a big fan of, they have these are if you want to get rubber coated hex dumbbells. Rogue is in stock with a couple of weights. Some of the more popular weights: 20 pounds, 25 pounds, I think 35s, 50s. But again, it's hit or miss. Cast iron kettles or cast iron. I can't remember the name fully of the company, but they make cast iron
stuff,
fire pits and grills and stuff. They also make dumbbells and kettlebells. High quality stuff.
They're in the area, right?
No, it's like Georgia or Southern Virginia or something. I think it's Georgia.
Okay.
It's steep. Like you're gonna pay high quality price, but you can be guaranteed those things are not gonna break. And
they're gonna last forever.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things. Like when you're
if
paying
I'm
for them,
right, if I'm
knowing,
buying
like,
something of like for the house, I would actually defer. I like the rubber because right, you can bounce and stuff, but this stuff's gonna break. It's gonna degrade, and you're probably gonna get 5 to 10 years, 15 years if you barely ever use them and they become dust collectors.
Yeah.
But those cast iron are going to last forever. You'll be handing those down to your kids, kind of like your cast iron pans that you use, your lodge pans for camping. The other one, Lee Johnsonville Fitness on Forest Drive by the Home Depot.
Okay,
that place does have stock. It has stuff in stock, and actually some of the dumbbells we have here.
Yeah.
Field tested the 50 right when we got it.
Don't drop it.
They're not
Don't drop it at all.
Yeah,
like,
they're not quite as high quality of a piece of gear. I don't think that's an actual forged head on that handle. I think maybe it's just glued. So yeah, but local, no shipping, a little bit cheaper. It will do for what we are looking for people to do.
Yeah.
So those are some, I would say, options for dumbbells. Also, all of those places, barbells, plates, but now you're talking about having to have a little bit more space. Where are you going to store it? How are you going to store it? So conversations that you can definitely have with your coaches in the gym. And I think, so my sister is a great example. She's up in Princeton, New Jersey. And as this stuff all went down, it's still pretty quarantine. There are a lot of, they in Jersey wear masks. They have to wear masks all the time in the gym, no matter what they're doing. State law, wherever they are in Princeton County or something. So she's, I don't want to go to the gym. So she outfitted herself with full set of barbells, plates, dumbbell box, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, I got all this stuff now. I kind of don't want to go back to the gym.
Yeah.
So her gym, the guy's running a one class a day that is full Zoom. And it's for specifically, there was about 7 or 8 athletes that go to their 7 a.m. or 7:30, whatever, that they were like, we're not coming back to the gym. What do you think about running a 7 a.m. class? And we'll just pay you our normal membership rate. And he was like, done. Cool. And so he also then rented some of his equipment out to those folks if they didn't want to buy their stuff. So what I'm offering is once you get all that gear, you kind of put yourself in a position where if like you now have the flexibility that there is, right? And I should probably he's going to punch me in the head here. Once you do that, come into the gym, if it's an inconvenience, there are so many online programs out there that like street parking, the linchpin, God, even I bet you are the warm-up workout folks that we're using, there is enough out there that you don't need us yelling at you to keep doing this stuff. I started doing CrossFit in the back porch of my house at Hawaii with 3 dumbbells, a pipe that I would hang over the rafters in the garage for my pull-ups. And I would run up and down the street and have anything, and a jump rope. Yeah. Right. And got pretty fit doing that stuff to be able to then go to a box and not be, I still moved like crap, but that's what I'm saying in the sense of you're not going to hurt my feelings if you're like, man, I really just kind of want to do this thing on my own. Mike Lays is a perfect example. And that should be, it's sort of, I've always looked at it that way. On a deployment one time, the general told us, he's like, we are the relief pitchers. We are here to work ourselves out of a job. We know we are successful when we look at our partners, our international partners, and they can do what we are doing by themselves. Yeah. And in my opinion, that is sort of when I have an athlete who can safely move on their own and do their own thing and are consistently doing it, they're not going to hurt my feelings when they say hey, I'm ready to kind of branch out on my own. That means I did my job really well. Vice versa, if they come back and be like, well, I get it. I'm not paying you for your equipment. I'm paying you and I want to be here because I love freaking coming here. Yeah. Then I'm also doing my job well. Yeah. Right? I'm keeping it fresh and keeping it new and I'm offering other set of eyes. And so that's what I mean as far as I love that about this whole experience. It's given people more flexibility to say look, this should not be the only place that you are moving well and
Yeah.
having good movement and healthy movement in your life.
Yep.
If it is, it's only an hour a day. There's 23 more hours. Like, you should be doing other healthy stuff and movement in your life, or else this is just a drop, like a, eyedropper on the kerosene fire that is your life.
This can become a crutch in a sense. And, it's that whole, like, when you get away for a week, you come back feeling like death. Like, a vacation is a chance to get away, but why not try to, you don't need us to hold your hand while you're on vacation to get you through a workout,
right?
Just do something.
And that's, I guess, the other, like the reciprocal, or the symbiotic feed, or the symbiotic stimulus that I get as a professional, and I would say you're the same, is I love celebrating in the joy, in the successes and the joy that people have here.
100%.
So that's like it is selfishly, it's awesome to watch people. Like, it's legitimate, authentic cheering when somebody gets a PR, crushes a workout. Like, I can't help myself because it's infectious. That's also the experience that oftentimes you don't get in the garage or in your basement by yourself. And so
or the hotel gym,
right? When everyone's looking at you like, why is that guy dying in the corner? Yeah. So anyway, a little side tangent, sorry. But the Open,
we love our fitness.
It's going to be fun. 3 weeks. I put the challenge out there. I think there's probably a half a dozen, maybe 10 people who have a legitimate shot in the gym of making the quarterfinals.
Because what are they taking? The top
10%. Top 10% if you're 34 and younger, because that's the open category. 35 to 39-year-olds is the first Masters, then 40 to 44 every 5 years after that till 65, then it's just 65 plus. I mean, we got a couple hard hitters that 10%. That's, let's say if there's 10,000 people in your category, that means you're in the top 1,000.
1 million people.
Well done. That's good fast math.
2022.
That was awesome. So, 1 million, right? You got shot.
So you're saying there's a chance.
But the funny thing is, you say that. Let's say, what's the top? The most they've ever had is 300,000 or 400,000 in the Open.
Like 400,000.
Let's say of those 400,000, half of them are in the Open category, right? They're 34 or younger. Top 10%, that's 20,000 people. So 20,000 people would advance. If you were in the top 20,000, you get to advance to the quarterfinal, which will be not the next weekend, but a couple weekends later, which we don't know what that looks like, but I'm assuming it's going to be 3 or 4 WODs. They'll release it on probably a Thursday, and you have till Monday night.
One of those where you probably have to like video yourself and submit.
And that's where like you probably have to do it in an affiliate. There'll be ergs, and he'll sprinkle in, he being Dave, Castro and his team will sprinkle in all the things, muscle ups and ring things.
In this case, we'll work with you to get those done.
Oh yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, I think there's a handful of folks that have a legitimate shot at making it to that next stage, which is super exciting. Sorry, I just spit on you.
And there's a bigger handful of us that are excited to see that.
Yeah.
And we'll be cheering you on.
Don't sell yourself short,
No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just here to get fit. All right. I'm here to look good, clothed. Cool. Well, I'm excited.
That's good stuff.
I'm excited. I'm really excited to see where, because I mean, I think even COVID aside, I don't know, this is where like opportunities, like you can say 2020 was this crap year all you want. Look at all these like really cool opportunities that I don't know if CrossFit takes this step in making it a much more inclusive Open, which has always been the goal, to be at the most inclusive.
Well, right. Like there's not as much laser focus on things, and people aren't as hypersensitive for Glassman, who's always been like, one step away from being a raging dumpster fire, right? Like, I mean, of actually like,
sorry if you're listening. We mean that as a compliment.
But I mean, like, seriously, like
there is madness and genius.
He's always prided himself on being a contrarian, right? Of basically causing ripples, because the ripples is what was required to upend a system that wasn't working. When you do that, like,
made a big ripple.
You step on your own toes. You put your foot in your mouth. Like I don't know, and I have no idea of all the other stuff. But this, right? Like the sensitivity of the cancel culture may have had a very beneficial byproduct of canceling him and requiring him and him saying like, okay, this thing I created, I am now being its greatest detriment. I'm walking away. And then you have Eric Rosa step in, and you have all the other people who were just as talented, who were being silenced or kind of overshadowed by Glassman's just presence. At some point, Yoda says this in the final Star Wars, right? Your greatest challenge is not teaching somebody something. Your greatest challenge is realizing when they are better than you and getting out of the way.
Star Wars is that movie based off that show Mandalorian, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But that's and that's where Yoda-isms are kind of cool. But that's I think in a sense like maybe what Glassman recognized after the fact that he really did some not so whatever. We don't have to go back over that.
Yeah.
You're right. I totally agree with you that all of that leads us now to an organization that has the same goals that it's always had, but with a very definitive direction for us as an affiliate to step in line with.
Like this, like the bodyweight option alone. What a cool opportunity to just say, like, get your friend that's never done CrossFit and hey, do this open with me, and we don't need anything.
So so what this does too,
challenge.
What this does too is, as an affiliate, we can program the normal workout on Friday. Then we program it again on Monday, and I can challenge. So even like, spoiler alert, I'm shooting. I want to make that freaking quarterfinal as a Masters.
Yeah.
Right. Last year in the 40 to 44 year group, like I want to make that quarterfinal, maybe even make the semifinal. Right. If I could, depending on what kind of numbers they do for the Masters this year, but because there's a very good chance it's not going to be heavy. And that's always been my Achilles heel. So we'll see. Yeah. Anyway, unless it's a 1 rep max deadlift, and then, hey, I got a shot.
Hey, not bad.
So okay. So outside of that, somebody who's like making a run at something specific, do the workout as RX on Friday, and then challenge yourself. Even if you come into the gym on Monday to do it, or come to Monday's workout again, do it body weight and see what the difference is. See which one is harder relatively, which one facilitates more intensity.
Yeah,
I would be willing to bet, because we did this with the Diane handstand walk deadlift one, right? We all tried it RX the first time, and then we all did it scaled, and all of us were like, and we tried to go as fast as the elite with the scale. All of us were like, that was the worst workout ever. My hamstrings hurt so much. It was so freaking hard.
Yeah,
that's intensity.
I'd love to.
Sorry, I keep jumping on you. You're awesome.
No,
that was awesome.
And I kind of want to put a challenge out there, and like, Brian and Caps Up, like, how many people can you do body weight open from Caps Up? You know what I mean? Like, let's expand this community, even if it's only for this year. Like, let's get some people out there doing the open.
Yeah,
it's just to bring this thing together. I think it'd be kind of cool. So
I agree.
We can play with that.
We got time. We got 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
8 weeks to mess with it.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
You're wearing your open shirt. Did you know? Was that on purpose?
Half and half. Like, I grabbed it and was like, I'm gonna wear this shirt. We're gonna talk about the open today. Like, so it was kind of like a
cool.
All the more reason to.
Serendipitous.
Yes, as they say in the movie Serendipity, with John Cusack and Catherine.
No. British. She was in those vampire and werewolf movies.
No, not
Kate
Kristen Stewart.
something. Kate. No, not Kristen. No, not those. Not the Twilight movies. Those were. Kate something.
No, that's Serenity. I should learn how to spell. No.
Great radio, ladies and gentlemen. Great radio. This is a great preview of the quality.
Oh yeah, I love her. Kate Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale. Yes. I knew it was a Kate.
She was also was it Hela in Ragnarok?
No, not even close. That's
no, God. Yeah, no, Kate Beckinsale.
No, different woman.
No.
Yes.
Hold
on. That is Kate Blanchett.
Keep talking.
I'm telling you. So, and that might.
Right. Got my British Kates mixed up.
Silly Brits.
Whatever.
So, what are you grateful for, man?
I've got two. Can I go two?
Sure.
New year, new, same me. Two. My first is I'm gonna go. So I love the Avett brothers so much. I talk about them all the
it's
time.
funny.
I think they've taken they've done some really great things. Like they haven't been able to put on concerts. Like they can't and I feel for musicians so much right now because so much money in the music industry today is based on like touring and merchandise sales and like ticket sales. Like they don't make money off their albums anymore. And so like, and you can say like, oh, they already make billions, blah, blah, blah. But like on the smaller end, like these people don't, the people that aren't well known and getting blasted on the radio all the day, like they're not making the money that they were.
Yeah.
Even these bands that were just opening, you know what I mean? But the Avett brothers, they released a special album. They've done a bunch of just YouTube videos of them, like whether it's playing in their barn or whether it's like just a random like live show online in their barn. They actually did a show. I think they did shoe shows at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Shoe shows?
2 shows at Charlotte Motor Speedway where it was where it was a drive-in. Like everyone had to stay in their cars,
cool.
but everyone drove up into the infield of Charlotte Motor Speedway. So they did a couple shows there. And they always have an annual New Year's Eve concert. They do it every single year, and I think it's usually right there in the Charlotte area. And they did it all live. Like you paid $40 and you could watch it on TV. And they had a bunch of pre-recorded, so like Willie Nelson and I'm drawing a blank on like everyone else now, Sturgill Simpson, like all these. So they would like do a song and like wish everyone a Happy New Year. And then they did a 2-hour show. And it was in front of an empty audience, but it was live from this theater. And then they're like, all right, cool, we're leaving. We're hopping off stage. We'll see you guys in a few minutes. And then they did about another 45 minutes or so of these pre-recorded ones. And then they rang in the new year, just the 2 Avett brothers, Seth and Scott, in their barn, just playing a couple more songs in their barn, a couple more songs. And it was so cool. And it was just like, God, I love them so much. And like, it felt like being at a concert without being
see if we can have them on the podcast. Maybe they're CrossFitters.
I would love them. Actually, they are. So, God, I'm like drawing a blank, but their cellist. He's actually a big CrossFitter, and actually he just started his
challenge.
So
there you go. 2021 goals.
And he actually just started his own like fitness app too, which is
get him cool. On.
Yeah,
Let's
he's
do
a big
it.
CrossFitter, but they'll have like
low stakes, man.
Like,
we're low stakes.
I'm telling you, man. I'm just gonna go for
They're
it.
local. They could drive up.
They're not far. They have a song called "Pretty Girl from Annapolis," which I think is about me. So yeah, but if you've never,
pretty, my friend.
But if you've never listened to Avett Brothers, please listen to Avett Brothers. They're worth. I've been listening to them all the time. You can't find a bad song.
I mean, you and Duncan hug, right? Don't you like every time you listen to it, you are like hugging each other in your
pretty
minds?
much.
Yeah,
pretty much. So that's
that one night I came in and the Avett brothers were playing, and the 2 of you were just standing in the middle of the gym, embraced, just rocking back and forth.
If I'm working about by myself, you can guess that the Avett brothers are playing.
It's getting teary. Yeah. I mean, I know that was a really.
I'm not getting teary,
no, really
but I do. So anyway,
I'm sorry. I'm shaming your emotions.
So,
and that's
no, it's
wrong.
fine. And they're great.
Wrong.
It's music. It's just it's great music.
That was
I love
fun.
Avett
That was a really
so
good. That was fun.
So anyway, and my second gratitude is Trevor Fox, who I think is
so much fun, man.
Like he's so cool. Like
yes, he is.
And like I bring it up all the time, and I hope it's not like embarrassing him, but like he was an offensive lineman in football, right?
At Oregon.
At Oregon.
Not at like not a Div 3, like Oregon.
Like to be an offensive lineman for the University of Oregon, you have to be a fit mofo while weighing 300 pounds.
Well,
like
I mean, he could probably tell us, but that like you play at that level, you got a shot at going to the game, like at the NFL. Yeah. Like I'm sure he probably has 3 or 4 of his teammates from that line.
Oh, there's a handful of his teammates that are in the NFL.
Right, like you're talking top 0.1% of the nation in football.
Oregon is an elite football school.
Yeah. So agreed. I hear what you're saying.
And from the type of offense that they ran, like you had to weigh 300 something.
Wasn't that was Chip Kelly? Wasn't he? Yeah. So they were a dynamic.
Yeah.
300 pounds and move.
Yeah. Right. So here he is now. Like I think when he started, he said he weighed 265. He's definitely trimmed down, whether he tells you or not. Like you can see it. But this dude can squat 300 pounds all day. He was deadlifting 300 plus pounds the other day, and he's walking on his hands, right? Like
Did he really?
He was doing hands. He was probably walking about 10 feet on his hands.
I wish I had seen that. Good for him.
Like I got a cool picture of it, but it's just like, I mean, it just goes to show like you can come up with all the excuses you want in the world. Like, I mean, you have to be an athlete to be an offensive lineman in Division I, but like, it just goes like he's 6'4" and he weighs 200 plus pounds, and he can lift weight and he can walk on his hands.
Some would say he's actually embracing being courageous.
Yes.
and trying things that
Yeah.
are kind of scary for those
Yeah.
who may not be walking on hands.
I don't like
type
going upside
people.
down and watching him do it. It's like, all right, I need to stop being such a
That's
and do it.
that
So,
is what's the word? Not motivating, inspiring.
inspiring. Yeah.
And that's this feeling I get when he walks in the door too.
Yeah.
Just he's always happy, always motivated, asking questions, looking for like, and the questions are like, explain that more. Tell me what you talk. You know what I mean? Like he makes you actually explain it, and then he understands it, and then he tries to implement it. And I agree, man. He is coachable. Like
and
a
he has
really
$1 million smile. He has a great smile. I think I was gushing over him the other day.
And he
People were
drives
like,
a
"Calm
Tesla.
down, Eric."
Super cool.
Yeah. So and
Drew is so jealous of his
and
Tesla.
if you need Clorox wipes, he's the guy to talk to.
Oh, right.
Just
Is that what he
FYI.
does?
Yeah, he works for so he gets
Trevor,
anyway.
you're freaking blast.
So
dude.
it was really cool to see. So awesome.
Nice.
Thank you, Trevor.
My gratitude is Ferdy and his install team from Next Day Floors who installed it, which I left them a Google
All
review.
sorts of plugs from Jack
and
today.
Marco, who was our sales guy, who's called me like every day to check in and
That's
just
awesome.
say, hey, this is where you play, blah, blah, blah. Those guys showed up 2 hours early without calling. Boys, come on. I told us they were going to call. So that sent the day into a little bit of a downward spiral, but we recovered. Holy crap, those guys were fast.
Yeah.
And like at every turn, there was a problem with the subfloor. It wasn't level. So they were like, we got a problem here. They were like, and they like walked me through it and we talked about it. And then like they made every effort to do everything well. They worked until like 4:30, 5 o'clock on that. And they did the entire upstairs. We got new floors.
Yeah.
Did the whole thing, and those guys, and then when I was like, how did you guys go so fast? He explains, he's like, well, we scheduled 2 days and sometimes just 2 of us, but it's real slow right now. So I had, 3 other guys from my team and they all showed. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
I was cause I'm like thinking, oh God, the rooms are going to be a mess. And then we're all going to be sleeping on like, half moved things and the dogs are a train wreck. And it was just, but it wasn't. They did it in one day, in and out. We got the stairs left. That's it. But that'll get done. They'll probably be done in like 30 minutes.
Stairs are tricky too. So like that's always the
they are just because you got to get the pieces or whatever. And I'm learning all this about it. And but it's very like they will show up with the pieces like
we did it once. We have one stair and it's still not finished, and we put floors down like 3 years ago.
We're not doing it.
Right.
That was your first mistake.
So Meg did it.
Totally worth the install price. So anyway, that was my gratitude, and
so cool.
It's got other spiraling gratitudes off of it. Like I'm fine with the carpet the way it was. I would have never noticed. So I'm grateful for Nicole like saying I want new floors and making the whole thing happen.
Good call.
I'm grateful for the boys and their enthusiasm when it was finished.
Yeah.
Right. They were like, this is awesome. And Colin Bauer, who walks in and is like, new floors? These look awesome, guys. That kid is like, what you cooking for dinner, man? It smells great in here. Walks in, he's like,
smelled it from my house.
Hey man, new shoes? Love the shoes. Right? It doesn't matter like what it is. Colin notices and like authentically is like, hey, I like that. Like I good to see it. Even to the point where Violet doesn't bark at him as much anymore.
Wow.
I think she's really getting to like him too.
Nice. That's good.
So anyway, there you go. There's
Charlotte approval.
Yeah, Violet, not Charlotte.
What did I say?
Charlotte. Maybe you said Violet.
Charlotte.
I don't know. Maybe he did.
I did say Charlotte.
I was clapping.
Violet.
I do like that for the dog's name though, Charlotte.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I like it for a Creek Beast name.
Oh yeah.
That's one of their names.
All right, folks. That was fun.
Cool.
We will see you on the creek, prepping for the Open.
Heck yeah. Happy New Year.
All right.
Let's get at it. Pitter patter.